Yeah, no doubt Israel. Let's get down now. The 400-year prophecy of Abraham in the 15th chapter of Genesis is not uh, first Egypt, but the second. This right here. And that's what we're going to get over. And we're going to discuss this and try to get some understanding. The 400-year prophecy of Abraham, where he said these people going to afflict us 400 years and all that shit, in the 15th chapter of Genesis, is not talking about first Egypt. Now let's go over it. It's talking about the second Egypt, is what I say, but I don't know. But we're going to get down to it and we're going to see what the scripture says. Now, in chapter 1 of Exodus, it says, these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. So these are all the niggas that came in Egypt: Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. Okay, so if we keep the scripture in Exodus 12:41, it says we stayed in Egypt 430 years. All right? 430, not 400, but 430. But we're going to go down into it deeper to get some greater understanding. All right, now Joseph had already been in Egypt at the time Jacob and all his brothers got down there. That's what he just told us. All right, now understand, we ain't got but 30 years to play with. All right, for between the difference between 400 and 430. Now again, Exodus 12:41 says 430 was how much time we spent in Egypt the first time. All right, now so we ain't got but 30 years to play with. A whole generation had to be more than 30 years, didn't it? It just said that Joseph was already in Egypt by the time Jacob and all his brothers got down there. Then it says, and Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. All these niggas died. So how long did that take? Out of the 430 years. It says Israel, and meanwhile, in the meanwhile, increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. How long did that take after Joseph died? How many years did it take for Israel to increase abundantly and multiply and wax exceeding mighty? How long did that take? We ain't got but 30 years we playing with here. Difference between 430 and the difference between 400. Now Joseph, we're gonna get into it. Okay. All right, now how in the hell how long did it take for the niggas to fill the land? That took some time now. We ain't playing with big 30 years. All right, now after that, a new king arose, and that he didn't know Joseph, is what the scripture says. Right here in 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Now, how long did that take for this nigga to rise up? And he didn't know Joseph. So that's another problem for all you niggas who say Genesis 15th chapter, Abraham's 400-year prophecy, speaks to it having been the first time we were in Egypt, which the Lord redeemed us out of. All right. Now it also said that because you know we got a lot of wicked niggas out here that are unholy than a motherfucker. We all know that. And the niggas believe we are in hard bondage all that time. We just brought up Joseph and the new king that arose. So that puts that to definite question. All right. Then it says, there arose a new king, and that knew not Joseph. That took many years. Joseph died at 110 years old. It says that in the 50th chapter of of Exodus. So he was 110 years. So the difference between 400 and 430 is certainly less than 110 years. This is not adding up. All right, now, and it says in Genesis 50 and 22 that he saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. Of the third generation? Ephraim? That Ephraim is Jacob's nephew, right? I mean, not nephew, but grandson. So, he saw them to their third generation. How long the fuck did that take? All right. Exodus 1 and 8. It says, now there rose up a new king and all that shit. All right, now it says, come on, let us deal wisely with them. And they set taskmasters over them, and they afflicted them, the more they multiplied, and made them to serve with rigor. So that begins the time down in Egypt when the bondage came into effect. It just said that he said, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Okay, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom, and Ramses. So how the fuck long did it take for these niggas to build some cities? I don't know, but after Joseph died, it said that's when it said that they did this, and when the new king arose, who didn't know Joseph. So the timeline is all fucked up. This is certainly not the first Egypt. The 400-year prophecy of Abraham is certainly not the first Egypt. Because this time this is when servitude with rigor began. Now, Abraham's vision in the 15th chapter of Genesis, he had a vision of darkness where he saw his people being afflicted 400 years, as it is written. The question is, when has or will this be fulfilled? This 400 years. Difference between 400 and 430. Answer that shit. All right. Now, we just went over this. I'm not going to keep you all forever. Know that what you're reading is exactly what it is. Shit said 400. It said 430 was how much time we spent down there when we were down there in this time of Joseph and his brothers and all of that shit. And that's the difference between that and 400 years that Abram prophesied. So I don't know of any other time that's left where we served in affliction 400 years other than right now. The 400 years, according to the white man, 1619 to 1919. To 2019. That was 400. Last year was the 401st year, or the first year of the thereafter. The Most High can start bringing smoke on these people, as he said. He gonna do that thing to them. All right. So we just want to show everybody what the scriptures say and exhort them to do as the scripture says. Don't listen to these dumbass niggas, and keep it according to what the Most High said. And that's the only thing we can do. Where we can't do it, like the Passover, which we went over, we can't do it. You're not doing it as the goddamn scripture said. So stop the bullshit, Israel. Reject these niggas. Reject them. If one is a heretic, after the first and second admonition, reject. All right? That's what we got to do.